This Unlimited proudly presents.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Diz Unlimited podcast, where we have a fun little Disney news and discussion every week talking about who knows what. Today, I do know what, but I'm going to keep it a mystery until I introduce everybody. Hello, everyone. I'm Rhino. I'm the executive producer here at the Diz Unlimited. Joining me for today's fun Disney news and discussion, we have Dreams Unlimited travel agent Hannah Anderson.
Hello.
And Diz theme park correspondent Chloe Ferreira.
Hey, howdy, hey.
Hi, everyone. Welcome
Hi.
to the show. Before we get started, I want to remind everybody that this and everything that we do here, it's brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel. They are experts at helping you plan that perfect Disney vacation. Hey, you know what? When you book with them, it costs you... Check them out for a free, no obligation quote today at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. What a free, no obligation quote means is you can say, hey, how much is, great time to be a theme park fan here in Central Florida specifically, I think. This program is brought to you is also brought to you by our Patreon supporters. We could not do this without you. If you want to learn more about how you can get exclusive content from different members of the Diz team like myself, Hannah, or Chloe, you can head over to patreon.com/DizUnlimited. And today we will be doing a live Patreon post show where we're going to be having a discussion about something. I haven't quite figured it out yet, but we'll be a little more conversationally focused than we have been in the past. So we're working on that. Lots of exciting things going on here. How was everybody's weekend?
Pretty good. I ended up watching Star Wars Revenge of the Sith in theaters because it's the 20th anniversary, and I can't believe it's been that long. But I feel like we've officially kicked off Star Wars week at our household, my household, me and my boyfriend, but next weekend's May the 4th already. Mm-hmm. And I'm excited. So as you can see, repping Star Wars again today.
Yeah.
How was your guys' weekend?
For the audio people, she's wearing a Star Wars shirt, if that wasn't your cue, because this is also an audio podcast. If anybody does ever decide, I don't want to watch these people anymore, you can get the Diz Unlimited on anything. Spotify, Apple Music, wherever.
I used to listen to our podcast back when I lived in Mississippi, and I would commute. I did. I sure did. I knew you before you knew me.
I do see in our live chat, because, again, this is our live program. That's why I'm going to keep saying it like that. Like the stories that people watching on YouTube seem to be having a little bit of some sound issues. I cannot control that because on our end, it is still coming out smoothly. I'm monitoring it right now. You can see I have little headphones in if you're watching this. So it is still going here. I would recommend perhaps refreshing your page. Mm-hmm. And please continue to update me in the chat so we can see if maybe we can troubleshoot this at all. Because I definitely really appreciate everybody tuning in live. And or if you listen, you listen later, you're watching later, whatever. We're happy you're here. We're just happy you're here. We're happy to be in on the discussion. It's a lot of fun. I did break my toe last week. My big toe. It was my favorite toe. It was my favorite toe. It's gone now. No, on my right foot. So the last couple weeks of being in theme parks has been challenging.
And you've been in the parks a lot.
Yeah. I have been filming B-roll in Epic Universe like nonstop, and that hasn't hopefully it hasn't reflected on our Disney content. It really just, I feel like how we always say that, like people sometimes say Disney versus Universal, and I'm like, no, we win when that happens. And I hope that the people who are subscribed to our content creation places, they're winning in this process too, because we're keeping it going. I'm trying to find that good balance of every time I give you some Epic Universe, I give you a little bit of Disney and Disneyland or Disney Cruise Line or stuff like that. So trying to balance it all out for you, but a little something for everybody here. That's what I like to say, for all of us theme park nerds and whatnot. But we did just hear right before the show happened, if you are somebody coming to the Central Florida area, that it's not just annual pass holders right now that can buy a ticket to Epic Universe. It's now officially everybody, like as of today. Yeah. So if you're here and you were like, oh, we came too early or something like that, it might be a great time to get a ticket.
I think it is.
Before word gets out. Yeah.
Dreams Unlimited Travel can book that for you now too.
What?
Yeah, girl, we can book that for you. So you can go as early as today, all the way up until May 19th. So right before the official opening on May 22nd. Humble opinion, I think if you're going to go this year, go right now. The park is quiet. It's beautiful. It's pristine. It's hot, but not too hot quite yet. So, yeah, if you can come down the next 3 weeks, you should absolutely do it. Find a way.
Yeah, I completely agree because as Hannah and I experienced yesterday, I think we right now this area of Florida specifically is in a drought, and so I feel like I've been very lucky because I hate getting wet, and especially in a theme park. And yesterday there was a little bit of a downpour. But it didn't last long. But I feel like it was that realization when you're like, oh, I've been spoiled.
Yeah, the rainy season's coming.
Yeah, didn't have the poncho, didn't have an umbrella. Owner of a new umbrella now, though, as of yesterday, so it's fine.
Will you bring it next time?
Yeah. No, I know. I was going to say it's actually at the bottom of my stairs because it was supposed to live in my car, and I forgot it already.
No,
so
it'll live at the bottom of your stairs forever.
Truly, it will, yeah. It's keeping all the other ones company down
That's
there,
good.
so
Good.
it's fine. All right. Well, let's jump into some of the news that we have this week. There's it's a lot of like little stories this week. Some updates, some exciting ones, some not so exciting ones. I'm going to start with one that's like not really helping you plan the vacation, but it's some drama with a capital D. For Disney.
Yeah. Okay.
I am going to just go over this one really quick. So I don't know if anyone remembers, there was a story about last year. It was last year. So it was this guy, Michael Schur, who is a former menu production manager for the Walt Disney World, specifically. He was accused of hacking into Disney's restaurant software to alter allergen information, removing warnings from menus for peanuts and other allergens. The accusations went into further detail, stating that Schur used his personal computer to hack the menu system, which Disney reportedly no longer uses, and access the accounts of 14 Disney cast members. This seems pretty scary, right? Like, honestly, changing allergen information, I interpret that as attempted homicide, but I've been watching
it is.
old episodes of Law and Order every night, so I'm basically a lawyer at this point. You're welcome.
Take them to court.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It's hard to imagine this wasn't out of malice anybody could have. There could be so many lawsuits about this just based on like if the allergen information wasn't accurate on things people were ordering, or it could have been bad. So who knows
the fact that he hacked
how much
into
damage.
14, you said 14?
Yeah.
14 Disney cast member accounts.
That's not good.
Yeah, I know. For real, kitties.
That's maybe a little too easy.
According to a report in the Orlando Sentinel, Schur has been sentenced to spend 3 years in federal prison in order to pay nearly $700,000 in restitution to the victims. According to a U.S. Department of Justice news release, Schur pleaded guilty to 1 count of computer fraud and 1 count of aggravated identity theft. It's such a weird turn of phrase. I feel like aggravated, like you were really aggravated about stealing somebody's
identity theft.
As part of this was all part of his deal that he made with the prosecutor. Schur initially denied his involvement in the cyber attacks, claiming that the company was attempting to frame him. You can, of course, read more about this on www.info.com, but it is still crazy to me that he was not charged with attempted homicide because, again, Law and Order lawyer here. So not a real lawyer, but removing the allergen information sounds intentional and not something really to make light of. I know there was a social media influencer that passed away toward the end of last year at a retail chain sponsored event because allegedly there were nuts in the food. So it was a very tragic situation. But I always stress
Raglan Road.
That is not what I'm talking about.
Well, no, but I'm saying that was another story of somebody dying at a Disney.
That's right. It was like
related
a doctor
place. Yeah, died from an allergy. So yeah, it's a very serious thing.
Well, I'm always stressed out when I'm traveling with people with allergies. Hold for Hannah. But I always sensitivity. You don't have an allergy. I always double check. I ask twice, even if it says it doesn't, because I don't have allergies like that. So again, I'm not trying to lecture anyone or police anyone about that. But I've traveled with a friend who has a severe nut allergy, and I was in a restaurant with them once, and I asked repeatedly about nut allergies, explaining it was like all nuts, tree nuts, everything. And then our dessert came out, and I took the first bite, and I was like, "There's amaretto in this." Right as the fork was going into their mouth, and I was like, "Put that fork down right now." And I was like, and I asked them, I was like, "Can you tell me everything that's in here?" And they said amaretto, and I said, "Well, you know that amaretto is made from almonds, and almonds are nuts, so this would have killed my friend." Like, and that. So I just like, it's one of those things. Just be careful, because again, we never know what's going to happen, and I don't want anyone's life ruined, let alone their vacation. I mean, their life, I guess, is more important than their vacation. But we live to vacation, am I right?
I don't know. For some people, maybe not.
Maybe not. Maybe it's the way out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on from that so we can talk about something a little bit more exciting, and that is this new adult exclusive lounge called Geo 82. It's going to officially open at EPCOT on June 4th with reservations available beginning May 6th, just around the corner. That is 1 week from today if you're watching this live or listening to this today. So again, Tuesday, May 6th, reservations go live for the opening of June 4th. This lounge is located within the backside of Spaceship Earth, and the new venue will offer an exclusive setting for 21-plus guests to enjoy elevated, handcrafted cocktails, mocktails, and some globally inspired small plates and sweeping views of the World Celebration Gardens. In addition to the general lounge reservations, guests will also be able to book the Geo 82 fireworks experience, which includes premium seating for Luminous, the Symphony of Us, a tasting tower of small bites, exclusive cocktails, and champagne poured tableside. This is bougie, bougie. The cost, $179 per person, plus tax and gratuity. Theme park admission, obviously required, but and it's not included in that price of that event. So that is wild. Have I paid for something in the theme park that expensive very recently? Yes.
I was like, don't lie.
But yeah, it did involve peeling makeup off of my face all of last night. But we did get a peek at some of the items coming to the menu here. So I want to go over those. We're going to start with the drinks and the featured cocktails, because these actually seem pretty interesting. There's a caramelized leek martini, which is forged gin. Disney loves forged gin.
Yeah, they do.
It comes with Dolan Dry Vermouth de Chambray. I don't think I pronounced that right. Caramelized leek and a pickled onion. It's a baked potato martini is what it sounds like to me, but
yeah,
maybe better. There's a brown butter old fashioned, which is Woodford Reserve Double Oaks Kentucky Straight Bourbon with a brown butter, maple, and Hella Cocktail Company Mexican chocolate bitters.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, that sounds good. There is the strawberry and coconut right hand, which is Campari liqueur, coconut cartel, and Yeho rum, Carpano Artica formula sweet vermouth, strawberry, and coconut. There is a clarified New York sour, which is Old Forester 1920 Prohibition style bourbon, Lestal Amontillado sherry. I don't know that brand. Yuzu lemon and red wine float. There is the highbrow Batanga, which is the Tapatio Reposado tequila, Ramazotti Amaro, cola nut, lime cordial, salt, and bubbles. I do really like cola nut. I had a cola nut whiskey from
I don't know what that is.
Treehouse. It comes out like coffee.
Oh, okay, great.
It's like a Treehouse, the beer company in Massachusetts, very famous beer place. They sometimes dip into the distilling of some liquor. So there's like a gin. They've done whiskeys and stuff like that, but they had a cola nut whiskey that was like really, really good.
Nice.
We've got the strawberry black pepper sour, which is Campari liqueur, Luxardo Machino liqueur, strawberry lemon, and black pepper. There's the Electron, which is Sierra Misterios Doba Yej Mezcal, carrot, cinnamon, lime, Hella Cocktail Company orange bitters, and pink peppercorn.
I think that's going to be good.
Yeah, these are very unique. There is a peach shrub whiskey smash. So this is using Centauri whiskey. There's some more sherry, peach, and mint shrub, and some bubbles. And then there's a banana brulee highball. So this is Centauri whiskey, There's another sherry in this: banana, coffee, cacao, and bubbles. And then they're doing a beer flight as well. So Disney has a bunch of different. I said beer flight and I meant bourbon flight. Has a bunch of hand-selected bourbons. If you didn't know this, I know one of the ones they really like to use is. Now I can see the bottle, and I just lost the name. Slipped out of my head.
Me too. They have their own.
Oh my God! Yeah, it's always Disney Select because they serve it at what's that lounge in Bay Lake? 1970.
Steakhouse 71?
Yeah, Steakhouse 71 has it. I know you can get it there because I got it in a
okay.
old fashioned there. And
I can't
stuff,
remember
but,
either.
It's not Buffalo Trace. It's
because it's not listed as one of these ones. So in this bourbon flight, you can do Uncle Nearest single barrel. There's Woodford Reserve single barrel. There's Blanton's Gold single barrel, which is really I think that's the Japanese Blanton's, and then the Stag Private Barrel. It's not Blanton's. I know. I see it in the chat where people are mentioning it. It's like it's on the tip of my tongue.
I know.
I can see the literal bottle. Like that's why it's like.
Is it Knob Creek?
Knob Creek.
Yeah,
there
there
it is.
you go.
Yes, Disney loves to use Knob Creek in a lot of
They
stuff.
have their own reserve.
Yeah. It's interesting. For those who maybe don't know what that means, it just means like they kind of got to pick and choose sort of. Sometime I know it. At Maker's Mark, it's like the different barrel staves go in, and it alters the flavor as it ages. It takes like 5 years usually. So I've got one going right now for when I used to do the bourbon study from the pandemic. And now I'm realizing that's probably a year away from being done because guess what was 5 years ago?
Wow.
What is time?
Man.
How long,
honestly.
Yeah.
How long, Lane?
You and your bourbon are aging like fine wine.
Thank you, baby. Okay, so if you're not a big drinker out there, don't worry. Because we got some stuff to talk about for you, too. There are some really fun zero-proof cocktails on this menu as well, like a Walk Through the Garden, which is Seed Lip Garden 108 non-alcoholic spirit, basil, fennel, lemon, Hella Cocktail Company orange bitters, the Bitter Truth celery bitters, and bubble. That sounds like
nice.
Super earthy. I don't know. I don't like basil, but I know you do.
I love basil. Give me that.
Summertime.
The Manhattan in the Morning, which is Seed Lip Spice 94 non-alcoholic spirit, Joffrey's Coffee Cold Brew, Maple, Verjus Blanc, Tart Cherry, and Fee Brothers Black Walnut Bitters. I like that they're using the zero-proof alcohols, which is really cool.
I do too, yeah, because I feel like mocktails have a tendency to be really sweet, and they still charge a premium for it because you're at Disney or at a theme park, and it's kind of hard sometimes being like paying this premium like $8 price tag for essentially a Shirley Temple.
Yeah, exactly. And
it
those
feels
always,
a little bit more crafted.
And these don't sound as sweet too, which is nice. But there's also plenty of beer and wine if you're not like a mixed drink person on the menu here. And you can, of course, see all of those selections at www.info.com. I've also been corrected. Thank you, Diane, because I knew she would know because she has all the Blantons, all the horsies and everything. The red label is the Japanese one.
Oh, okay.
But there's a lot of fancy food on this menu. I don't know about you guys, but this one has me hungry.
I'm already hungry.
I got hungry. Listen, we've got truffled ahi tuna, and I love ahi tuna. So this is a Japanese whiskey barrel aged soy truffle.
Yep.
Ponzu. Sorry. It is a ponzu, citrus scallion, topiko, and black sesame seeds. That's a must, I think. Must.
It's a must.
There's a cannellini hummus, which is pumpkin seeds, heirloom radish, preserved lemon, Fresno peppers, and a papadum. It's plant-based. There's a chef's selection of artisanal cheese, cured meats, and accompaniments. Because we ain't thriving unless we got our charcuterie going. We've got the Fun Guy flatbread. I wonder if there'll be some fun guys having that one. This has roasted mushrooms, miso mascarpone. I'm going to start calling that Chloe miso mascarpone. Jeez. Well, didn't take long for us to get too offensive.
Oh my God.
Mozzarella fontina, pickled red onion, and black garlic molasses. There's jumbo lump crab gâteau, which is smoked cheddar, pickled mustard seed, lemon vinaigrette, and Siberian supreme caviar. Ooh. And you know what's even better than the food? No, it's not better than the food. It's the best thing. Souvenirs. there's going to be these glasses that are inspired by Geo 82 that are going to be available for purchase via mobile order for guests with reservations at the lounge. So you have to have a reservation to get these. I feel like I've got
You need a set. I feel like you need at least 4, right?
Oh, see, I don't.
Right.
Sometimes I don't do more than 2, and even then I'll sometimes do 1 because I kind of love the idea of having no matching glasses.
Oh,
I'm a
yeah, my
psychopath.
coffee mugs are like that. I feel you.
Yeah, and then
No,
one
that's fun.
breaks and I'm sad.
Just the one.
Yeah.
I like some of the glasses that some of the drinks are served in too. They have
Yeah.
a lot of the geodesic
Yeah.
patterning in like those flutes and glasses and stuff, but those are nice too. I like that they're doing something for souvenir.
I don't know how many times we've gone somewhere and been like, oh, it's so cool. Like where's it at the boardwalk? The Flying Fish? That's not what it's called anymore, is it? Is
Yeah.
it still called the Flying Fish?
Yes.
Yeah. And they had, when they reopened, they had these really cool silverware that was it was like sort of under the sea
Ooh.
themed, like it was like mermaid sort of silverware. And I was just like, they should sell this. It's, you know what it is? It's the animator's palette knife on Disney Cruise Line.
That
all
they
over
do
again.
sell now.
Yeah.
So
Finally.
there you go.
And the bread basket too, like that Mickey bread basket they have in the gift shop too.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh,
all
yeah.
the Mickey heads all stuck together. They were tired of people pursing it.
Yeah.
Tote bagging it.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm very excited for this to open. I think this is fun. Here's the thing. You know what's great about this? I don't feel like it takes away from anything. We always talk about sometimes that, you know, some places close to make way for like a DVC lounge or something like that
That's
that
a good
feels a little more exclusive. But this is like an addition. Like I feel like
Yeah.
we're getting something. And I also like selfishly as an adult without kids, or I mean, you don't have to not have kids. But Hannah mentioned it before the show about having a kid but still being excited. Is that sometimes it's nice to have a space where you're like, it feels like, I'm not saying the removing of the kids is what makes it feel classy, but it does feel like it'll remove sort of a stimulation element.
But it's the same reason on Disney Cruise Line, like you can't bring a kid into Apollo, you know?
Right.
And also I'm hoping or thinking this place is going to be very popular. So maybe if you don't have giant parties of 12 because you got 8 kids coming in there, it'll help open up the availability. And it does seem like this is a more refined experience. Like it is a little more upscale, somewhere that would be more of like a special occasion type place. So it makes sense to me. As someone who has a kid, I'm okay with this and I look forward to going. Have you guys ever been to the space before?
I have a long
No, I don't have the money to fly there.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay, Katy Perry.
I was like Space 220. I did the Undiscovered Future World tour way back in the day when that was still a thing, and they took you into a lot of the Future World sponsor lounges, and this essentially was that for HP, I believe, back in the day. And that was Mission Space. I can't remember, Siemens, something like that. But it was an empty,
Siemens,
it was an empty
Like,
space.
keep it clean.
It was a mostly empty space, so it's cool to see that they're doing something like this. I'm curious if they're going to pipe in the fireworks music, even like at a lower level, so you can hear it.
Oh, I'm
because I'm
sure.
sure if you're paying that premium, because you're sitting all the way back there, it's not like you're
Yeah, it's
right
not
up
a
on the
great
water.
view.
So I mean, you're going to have a private window, they say, and watching the fireworks. But like, I need the audio.
Okay, but also
They would
on
have
that
to.
on
Just
that
like go
on
to
that
California
note
Girl.
of that experience that you're talking about, that like $179 experience,
Mm-hmm.
is it like the lounge is going to close at like 8:45 to any regular guests, and it's only premium guests are
that's
going to
a
be
good
allowed
point.
there at that time? You know what I mean? Or is it select, or does it become only the seats at the window and they're part of that experience? So like, will somebody who's in there on a regular reservation that is sitting and facing the bar, will they still be able to be in there? Or I assume they're going to be able to like sit and face the bar or whatever. And so like on your note about it pumping the music in, it's still got to be there for, if it goes in for one, it's going to be in there for everybody, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So like, is the money you're paying just for the seat at the window and the tableside service, right? Because it's like champagne tableside or something. is what they
Yeah.
said.
Yeah. And then the little appetizer tower, essentially. I'm not sure. They haven't clarified that, but I mean, I'm assuming there's going to be some tables and chairs that aren't right up against the window, and then
Yeah.
obviously there's the bar area. But how are you going to stop people from getting up and standing up by a
Right.
window? I mean, obviously it's rude to do to people if a table's right up there, but I don't know. It's
I don't
interesting.
know, because I've seen that. I've experienced that before. Oh my gosh, where was it? It was like out on a patio. I think it was when we did. Were you with us when we did the dining review at Tony's or no?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was like we happened to have been out there when the parade happened. It was like unintentional, accidental, but like everybody in the restaurant started running out to the patio. And I was like, well, this kind of sucks because we've been sitting on the patio the entire time in this heat. So like it was kind of the reward. And so I've seen it happen before, and I have had people who would be like, oh, they have to take a seat so like you can sit in between, but they can't be standing. So I also do want to clarify, I wasn't saying negative things about people with kids or the kids. It's just that I also want to have my space to have my own adult meltdown in. And so it'll be nice to be the center of attention when there is a meltdown happening as opposed to letting kids have
Adult
all the
meltdowns
time.
are the worst.
Yeah.
I'll just say that, okay?
Oh, I had one yesterday, and I was on
Well, you
the
were
bridge
literally
of one.
melting
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
I think was the problem. No, I think I'm very happy about this, and I think it'll only be a good thing. I do kind of hope that for those people paying that premium price, I would like the restaurant not to be open for other guests. I understand why they would maybe keep it open because that's more money and not everybody's going to have a good view of the fireworks. Also, I think, so I have been in that space before, not during fireworks. Unless you are sitting by the window, you really can't see out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very pretty view, but I don't know how good the view of the fireworks are going to be from there. I think it's more about the atmosphere and the dessert tower and the champagne.
That makes me feel like they're not going to pipe in the audio then. I don't know. Because I can't imagine sitting there drinking my elevated, old fashioned on the bar and listening to luminous music when I'm not even looking at the fireworks. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll see. Again, those reservations open next Tuesday. That's May 6th.
Yes.
And we'll obviously stay tuned to the channel because I'm sure we'll be able to pop over there and do a little review of some of that stuff.
Here's hoping.
Yeah, May's a very busy month. There's a lot going on this summer. There's 2 theme parks competing. And out west, they've got a little thing called Disneyland 70th. I'm very excited for that, though. So on to the next thing. And I do have a little slide for this one, too. So Disney has recently updated the performance times for their nightly Happily Ever After fireworks show, which may hint, it might be a little sign of some preparation happening for the all-new Magic Kingdom nighttime parade called Disney Starlight. Disney Starlight Dream the Night Away was initially announced at D23, the Ultimate Disney Fan Event, this past August, with a confirmed debut in summer 2025. It marks the first nighttime parade for Magic Kingdom in almost 10 years. Concept art for multiple parade floats include inspirations from Peter Pan, Coco, Frozen, Disney princesses, and much more. While the parade was added to the Walt Disney World website and the My Disney Experience app earlier this year, there has been no official debut date announced. And remember, Disney loves to do that thing. If it's like August 29th, they'll still be like, that's summer. Well, technically, summer goes until September 21st, so... An updated Happily Ever After schedule seems to align with planning for new parade step-off times. In late June and early July, Happily Ever After is scheduled for 9:20 p.m. each night. However, beginning July 6th, the fireworks show shifts to 10 p.m. This change remains in place on July 7th, and as of the recording of this and the writing of that article, this is the latest date currently available on the calendar. Fireworks starting at 10 p.m. is not really standard practice for this park. The shift is leading many to wonder if Starlight will debut the week after the 4th of July, with 2 step-off times most likely being 9 p.m. and 11 p.m., with the 10 p.m. Happily Ever After showtime in between. Although Disney has yet to officially announce an opening date for Disney Starlight, the recent shift in Happily Ever After showtime strongly indicates parade operations are being considered in upcoming plans and points to a July 6th debut potentially. I don't know that I believe there'll be two goings on of the parade. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Maybe in the debut, but a parade stepping off at 11 p.m. And you have to think, we're not like the other parks. So like Disneyland, it steps off all the way back in Frontierland and has to make its way all the way through the park. So the process of a parade going out to when the rest of the parade goes in is like 45 minutes or something, right? 30 minutes? Something
Like 30, 35
right.
minutes.
It's
yeah.
not
Crazy.
like Disneyland where you have to come back to where you started. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to reverse the parade to get back to where they park it.
Yeah, and if you have not been coming to Walt Disney World for the last couple of years, you may not be aware, but like the the closing times are not like midnight,
Not
1
late.
a.m. like they
No.
used to be, 10
Yeah.
years ago, 15 years ago. It has been 11 p.m. is a day where I'm like, oh, it's closing late today.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like Hollywood Studios is generally like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Epcot is consistently 9, and Animal Kingdom's been like 8 o'clock, I think maybe is the latest. I'm not sure.
Right.
I know it
Yeah.
hasn't been really even getting dark enough to see like Pandora or the Tree of Life show. So these later, this is interesting to me. Like, will the park start staying open later because of this?
Yeah,
I hope
stay
so.
open later again because traditionally they used to have 2 showings of like Spectra or Main Street Electrical, and I think with a brand new parade and it being summertime, they could really benefit from staying open later. And
It's a better value too for people coming down because it's more time in the park. And I think about when I used to come on vacation with my family, our strategy was always you would get there, park opening, early entry, whatever. You would stay until about lunchtime. You'd take like a nice long break. You'd maybe take a nap, go to the pool, refresh, come back in time for dinner. But you could do that because the park was open until midnight, or even during the crazy times when they would do extra magic hour until 1 a.m., 2 a.m., whatever. But now the park closes at 8 or 9. It's kind of hard to take that break. And I'm like,
Yeah.
not only do I personally need a break, especially here in the summer, but you're, like I said, you're not getting that value of being in the park as long. Like you almost can't go back and take a break and have enough time after.
Right, yeah.
And then you're
Yeah.
not enjoying your hotel. If you're staying at a Disney hotel, when are you
Exactly.
going to the pool? When are you enjoying those amenities?
Yeah, I was just going to say this would also, I feel like, help drive especially nearby resort sales, you know, to really push, like you can go take a quick Magic Kingdom break at the Contemporary, the Grand Floridian, whatever, because it's just a monorail ride away. But now I feel like people are staying in the park from rope drop to close because it's such a shorter time frame
Yeah.
as to compared to before when you could take breaks. So, yeah.
Yeah, that is a really good point because I don't know, I liked when the parks were open later because historically here, once like usually right around now through like October, we get a thunderstorm almost every single day. And
Yeah.
they used to last like 30 minutes, but lately they're like 2 hours or something like that. So it really is like I don't know. I'd like it. I think if the parks, I'd rather they stay open 2 hours later than open 2 hours earlier. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like if you were going to shift one or the other, I'd rather they be open at night as opposed to the day.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just me. I don't have kids though. And and I know kids, God bless them, wake up at who knows what time of the day, early morning.
But I think, it's just a stage of life for people. That stage of life won't last for forever, and you just adjust your plans accordingly. But I don't know. And also nighttime, to your point, is a different experience. If
Yeah.
you're open 2 hours earlier in the day, it's not like you're getting you're not getting fireworks, you're not getting a nighttime parade, you're not getting the lighting effects. It's just, it's the same thing.
I think that's it for me. Is that like I just have this love and affinity for like Disney at night, and so that's the thing. I always am like, it's so light here, so late into the day.
Yeah.
That it's just one of those. Where I'm like,
Miss
also
out on
I
it.
just at this point in my life, the son and I, we're not getting along anymore. And so it's one of those where I'm like, I really enjoy. I've noticed right now for me, it really starts to hit at like 3 until about like 6 is that like kind of like 6 is like you start coming out of it where it's just like awful. The sun is it is that magnifying glass on top of you. I cannot recommend enough a UV umbrella. I know it's sunscreen and stuff like that, but that UV umbrella, being able to take your face out of the sun, it really will do wonders for your like mental state, for your emotional state. And that's where I'm like, parents can't even imagine what it's like for you to have children in tow where you're already trying to control yourself. And then these younger folks that, can't verbalize or figure out this sort of thing yet. It's sort of the thing every time it happens. I'm always like, God, my mom, she really did my mom and my grandparents, it makes you appreciate people who brought you to the parks when you were a
Yeah, no
kid
kidding.
and stuff. So I always try to have a lot more extra patience with that. I'm also, my like tip for this when it gets like that, I like these baby wipes. They're like, they're not the Lysol. So it's like a third type of wipe. I carry the Lysol wipes. I carry the wet ones. And then I have these nothing included. They're basically just like wet towelettes. They're like 99.99% water. And I will tell you, like, when you're going to reapply the sunscreen or you've just been sweating a lot, give yourself one of those on the face, on the back of the neck, the wrist. It really, like, it kind of unclogs the pores that you didn't realize were kind of poor. Like, the reason why people get heat stroke and start overheating is that it is so humid that your sweat, which is supposed to be a cooling process, can no longer evaporate and get into the air. And so when that happens, your central core starts heating up more and more and more. And that's when people get heat stroke. But I've noticed this really does make a world of difference for me. So that's my tip for people. Just a little something, because a new nighttime parade, something very exciting to be out there. Get ready for, there's a lot happening this summer, and I just want people to be able to enjoy it the best they can, and fighting that heat is that's your challenge. Yeah, karate hands up. All right, I do have a really quick update. Also, if you are traveling here, whoops, that was the wrong one. Just, for the planners out there, beginning with arrivals on January 1st, 2026, the campsite at Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort at Walt Disney World will be available to book, accommodating a maximum of 8 guests total. This represents a change from the 2025 policy, which was 10 guests maximum for the campsites. I know that there is a big community here centered around Halloween, centered around Christmas, 4th of July, the holidays with the decorating and all that stuff. And Lord knows I love Fort Wilderness. So if you're planning, that's something that you might have to consider and think about.
I have a question.
Sure.
Maybe for Hannah, because she camps a lot more. How do they track this? Because last time when I camped, I was not given a key or anything like that for my campsite. So how do they know if you have 8 versus 10 guests?
I don't know that they really do, other than like peace
Counting your sleep.
times. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, knock knock. So I know like peak times at the fort, like 4th of July, Halloween, even halfway to Halloween, they will check like room keys sometimes, like when you're coming in, or of like every person in your car, or like if you're getting on the bus or getting on the boat to come to Fort Wilderness. I don't know that they would otherwise. And I guess you wouldn't have the amenities of staying at a Disney resort if you were like a ghost on the reservation. But yeah, no, I don't think otherwise.
I feel like it's just getting ahead of the crowds that they get with Halloween and Christmas time. Yeah. People visiting friends and saying they're on the reservation or something.
Yeah, that's true. I'll be honest, I've done that before. I mean, I didn't max out my number of people, but I had campsite for Halloween, added friends to the reservation so they could come over, watch the parade. The golf cart parade they do at Halloween. So anyways,
no, I mean, the policy is always kind of rotating and changing here. It's something to, like, I used to do, and this is when I was a cast member, I used to do the cabin rental on Halloween. I did it for like 2 years in a row or something like that. I'd get, how many people can you technically sleep in those 6? And we'd divide up the cost, but we'd do it for just that one night. And just 1 year, all of a sudden, it had to be a 3-day reservation at Halloween. You couldn't do it for one night. I don't know if that changed for just like cast members or what that is. So you can't do like book the one night if it falls over Halloween. It has to be like 2 nights, I think, minimum.
You can book one night for Halloween now, but the cabins, obviously, like the price point has really changed. So they're very expensive now. So if you want to book a cabin Halloween, first of all, it's not available. Second of all, it's going to cost like $600 probably a night.
Gross.
I will say you can get last minute reservations usually. So my one tip for staying at Fort Wilderness is if you are planning a trip, there's like a Fort Wilderness Facebook page. It's unofficial, but there's lots of ins and outs of Fort Wilderness. Policies have changed, like the golf cart policy that changed last year. So check it out.
No more hanging off the roof.
Well,
just imagining you with a 40 in your hand gripping the top of a golf cart for some reason. I'm not saying it happened.
I have fun for it.
We have fun. Yes. So we had talked on the show before about the return of the 2025 V.I.Passholder Summer Days at Walt Disney World, which I hate the name of. But they've released the full details on it, and I want to talk about that because if you are coming here and you've got an annual pass holder in your group or something, or if you live here, it's something, there's like a deal in here.
Yeah.
So first of all, the pass holder exclusive lounge is going to be returning to EPCOT. It's located inside of Restaurant Marrakesh at the Morocco Pavilion. That is going to be happening from May 14th through July 13th, and the operating hours of that are 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. daily. You can get in here. You can get some air conditioning. You can get some complimentary snacks and water. There's charging stations. There's a unique Disney Photo Pass opportunity and an exclusive pass holder baton. Also called a button. But the one that I saw and I was like, we got to take advantage of this, is that annual pass holders can save 40% on select Disney dining opportunities. This is a limited run, obviously. Increasing it to 40% off of food is crazy. So it's off of food and non-alcoholic beverages. It's never off the alcohol, but whatever. It's at select table service restaurants Monday through Thursday. So table service, Monday through Thursday. There's 2 waves. The first wave of discounts is going to be valid at the following locations. This is May 14th through June 30th. Hollywood and Vine, Disney's Hollywood Studios, Tusker House. Lunch and dinner only. I like how it was like lunch and dinner. Breakfast must be really popular there, but lunch and dinner are the expensive ones. That's why I'm like...
lunch and dinner is great.
And I was like, we got to go over there because that has been on our... for our Disney dining show.
Yeah.
If you're not familiar with that, we do a Disney dining show here. That's been... I like to incorporate character dining whenever I can because I know it's a really big deal. And Tusker House has been on the list for quite some time. And I'm like, we got to take advantage of that 40% off. Also, Toledo. Tapas, steak, and seafood. This is at Disney's Coronado Springs Resort. I have been there. It's not always my favorite because it has a really limited menu. Mm-hmm. Beautiful location. Beautiful. The Grand Destino Tower is gorgeous. Mm-hmm. I love a cocktail over there. I love to meet and hang out there. That's also a pricey place. So 40% off is crazy. Boat Rights Dining Hall at Disney's Port Orleans Resort Riverside has it as well. Cape May Cafe, only at dinner, at Disney's Beach Club Resort has it. Now, the second wave is going to hit from July 1st, and that is going to go through the end of the month through the 31st. You can get 40% off at the Diamond Horseshoe in Magic Kingdom, Whispering Canyon Cafe at Wilderness Lodge. You've got Tiffin's at Animal Kingdom. Coral Reef at Epcot, and Ale and Compass restaurant at the Yacht Club Resort, but that's breakfast and lunch only. No dinner. Don't you dare go over there for dinner. So these are like not some are like, okay, I get why that one's, that's like we'll reel you in. But some of these I'm like, these are sought after restaurants.
Yeah, I'm making a point to go over to Whispering Canyon because I love their all you can eat skillet. I think it's like $35, $39 per person, but it's all you care to enjoy. That 40% off, that's a good dinner, weekday dinner.
Oh,
and then I'm definitely making my way over to Tiffin's. That is a beloved, and 40% off at Tiffin's. Screaming my name.
Yeah, Tiffin's is a really, if you haven't experienced that, it's a really solid restaurant at Disney's Animal Kingdom, obviously, and attached to one of my favorite spots that feels like it's just slowly pricing me out is No Bad Lounge. Tempting Tigress, best drink on Disney property. That's not all that those big old pass holders get. They can save big on DisneyStore.com with 20% off select styles from June 2nd through the 22nd. So limited time to use this. To take advantage of this discount, you got to make sure that your pass is linked to your tickets within My Disney Experience. Then DisneyStore.com by logging in with the same email you use for the Disney World website, and add at least one eligible item into your My Bag area and enter the promo code WDW20 and select apply, and then you can continue shopping. So there is a little bit of a complicated, not complicated, but a little bit of a process there. But for 20% off, and sometimes like they have some like pretty solid things in there. They don't always get everything that's in the park, but I have my friend and I will combine our orders quite a bit of time to get free shipping, and it's been pretty fast lately. I get it within like a couple days or something. It's crazy.
When you can combine this with like their limited time offers, if they're doing like a deal on t-shirts or things like that, which they do frequently, you can combine them, and so I get it cheaper than I would in the park. So
yeah,
I would
love
say,
the stack here.
I do too.
Yeah.
Although the only thing is, I do kind of feel like we should get 20% off all the time at the Disney store, because
Yeah,
I'm like,
I agree.
well, we get it in the park. So why can't we get it online?
Yeah, because I was just gonna say it's a perk to pick something up online that might be sold out at the parks, specifically in your size, but it's available online. This is a very short window, but 20% should be all the time.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah, for
we'll
sure.
take it.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, you know what? Say no more. You got me. Watch me.
I will spend more money.
I fall for it every time.
You want my money, you got it.
Hey, before we move on to the next story, this is a great time to remind people to hit that thumbs up button if you're watching this live or later. That would be a big help for us in the algorithm and fighting all of that business and whatever. But greatly appreciated. So just take a minute, click that thumbs up. Thank you, everybody. We're going to move over to Disneyland for just a really quick Run Disney update. Because guess what? It's going on hiatus again. Due to upcoming construction, Run Disney races at Disneyland Resort will go on hiatus after the 2026 Disneyland Half Marathon weekend. Disneyland states that the hiatus is due to upcoming construction impacts, which will prevent them from providing guests with the race experience they have come to expect from these events. Run Disney races will continue to be held at Walt Disney World Resort as well as virtually. They come and go so quickly at the Disneyland Resort. It's crazy. They were gone for so long. And
they brought them back not that long ago either.
It was last January. It was the first because I did the first one. I did the half marathon. And I enjoyed it. It was fun. It's crazy, though, because when you do the half marathon, the first 3 miles are in the park and then the rest of it's out of the park. And in mine, they didn't let us run on Angel Stadium. We just ran behind it. And apparently they brought that back since then. And all I want to do is run the bases in a baseball field. Come on now. Let me do it. All right, for the next one. Oh, my God. I still don't have the sound effect in here for the... We're heading out to sea, everyone. Grab your tiny hats with the little tassels on them. It's exciting time because Disney Cruise Line has announced that Marvel Day at Sea and Pixar Day at Sea are both returning. For the first time ever, Marvel Day at Sea is setting sail from Galveston, Texas, bringing your family face-to-face with iconic heroes and villains in an action-packed adventure at sea. On select 4- and 5-night Disney Magic sailings, you'll enjoy heroic entertainment, surprise character encounters, themed dining, exclusive merch, and it all builds up to an epic battle of good versus evil during a show-stopping deck party under the stars. Marvel Heroes Unite. So obviously I'm talking about the Marvel one first. The excitement of the Marvel universe will come to life at sea with experiences for the whole family. In Fathoms, a big band Star-Spangled Banner tribute to Captain America will unfold with a special USO show featuring vintage dance numbers and an appearance from the Star-Spangled Man himself. Ooh.
OMG, say no less. Or say no more.
Recruits of Wakanda will convene in the atrium for warrior training with the mighty Okoye, General of the Dora Milaje. For your aspiring young heroes, themed youth activities like the Avengers Training Initiative will give you the chance to test your superhero skills. I have to cough more. I'm sorry, and I don't have water. I'm dying. I knew it was going to happen. I sat down and I was like, I forgot water. I don't have any on my desk. And grab me one off the door in the refrigerator if you wouldn't mind. Sorry about that. This rum's trying me out. Spider-Man, Captain America, Captain Marvel, Thor, Loki, and Black Panther are among the many beloved heroes and villains from across the multiverse that will collide on board the Disney Magic during Marvel Day at Sea in 2026. Thank you, Hannah. Thank you for spitting in it first. I appreciate you. Classic Disney characters are also going to be joining in on the fun and the heroics as Mickey Mouse. You heard of her? You heard of him? Sorry, Minnie Mouse. Heard of him? And their friends dress up in their favorite Marvel gear during Mickey and Minnie's superhero celebration. Have either of you done a Marvel Day at Sea?
I have not.
I've not done any of the special days at sea.
My question is, this replaces Pirate Night, right? Like the big top deck party and fireworks. Is that what this is? Okay.
Yeah, because because it said, did I say it's the 4- and 5-night sailing? I think is what. What was in the sailing? So I believe I've done one Marvel Day at Sea. I could be wrong, but you know what? Maybe I am wrong. I did a 7-night. It was out of Puerto Rico, back to Puerto Rico, on the Fantasy, maybe. But this was like 2019 or something, but there were like Marvel superheroes on it. And now I'm thinking they were just Marvel superheroes. Because I definitely had a pirate night on that cruise. Because I remember the picture I got with like Chip
It wasn't
and
like
Dale.
a full day lineup of characters and menus and stuff.
But I could have sworn I've seen Mickey with like superhero costume on before. Or, he wears like his like
Captain
t-shirt.
America.
But that could just be I've been looking at press images for so many years.
I know, right?
You know what I mean? You start to was it a dream or was it real?
I know.
Oh, Grandma. Like I feel like I'm that.
Get you back to bed.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. I would genuinely like really enjoy doing this. This sounds like a lot of fun. I obviously very clearly enjoy Marvel stuff quite a bit, but I love a good themed day. And I feel like it adds a nice twist, especially if you are a seasoned cruiser, and it adds that fun twist on something instead of doing the pirate night, something to look forward to. But I know there's people like Elaine Edwards who are devout pirate night people.
Right.
Elaine loves it.
I like that they are giving love to the Disney Magic and sailing south to Galveston. I think with like the new ships that we have, and especially the Disney Destiny coming out, I like that it's spreading the Marvel love to the other ships. I think it's nice to people take advantage of
keeping that excitement going and being like, yes, there are these new ships. They are like, brand new or whatever, but it doesn't mean you still don't get like a nice experience on these other cruise ships as well.
Yeah.
Have either of you sailed out of Galveston before?
No.
I've only ever sailed out of Port Canaveral, so I've never. I know that you've sailed out of Fort Lauderdale, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, wait, I have too. We were on the same cruise.
Yes, we were.
Oh, wow, so glad to have you guys on the show. Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I would like to do some of the other ports. Like I'd love to do Galveston. I'm hoping to go to Fort Lauderdale at some point. And then I would love to
I'd like to do New York.
Do a West Coast. Ooh, a New York one.
That would be cool. Sailing on New York.
I have a dream. I dream to dream of being able to go to help people. Again, I feel like our content is always sort of catered toward helping people plan a better vacation, giving you the heads up, letting you know the vibes, the element, that sort of thing. I think for cruises specifically, it is like I want to know what the port's like. So I like the idea of like, okay, if you're coming in early and thinking like, well, I don't have enough time to do a whole Walt Disney World stay. Is like Port Canaveral worth staying at? Is Fort Lauderdale worth spending the extra night at? Because Lord knows I would never fly in on a cruise day. The anxiety would be way too high.
You should not do that.
So like, how do you plan that little extra sort of? It's like Disney adjacent fun.
Kick off your vacation.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've already taken the PTO.
Yeah.
You've already made the investment. Enjoy it.
Yeah, baby, get the fries with the salad,
or the champagne.
Oh,
with the French fries.
Well, I do want to talk about the Pixar Day at Sea too, because this also sounds like a lot of fun. Get ready for some seriously playful fun with the Pixar Day at Sea. It's back. This one's on the Disney Fantasy starting in January. You can grab your best Pixar gear and get ready to hang out with your favorite toys, monsters, and supers all across the ship. On select, I said shipped like we had mailed it, not ship. Like I added like the
T.
Well, something in my speech pattern I've noticed. I think I've kind of corrected it at this point, but I would say, "Whoa, that think." And you'd be like, the word is thing, not think. Or I would say, well, I'm thinking, and you'd be like, no, it's think. I have another weird idiom where if I go to write the number 5 instead of the F, it's 5. IVE, and I'm like, I can't. It's very hard for me to break that. I don't know what is crosswired in my brain, so I'll be writing really quick, and I'm like, oh no, get the white out.
5.
Yeah, 5. I just really want to emphasize the 5.
Could you write in cursive?
But so here's the thing about Pixar Day at Sea. On select 5-night Disney fantasy sailings, this one's out of Port Canaveral, your family will dive into the worlds of Toy Story, Monsters Inc., get our Crocs ready, The Incredibles, Inside Out, and Coco are going to happen through character meet and greets, themed dining, exclusive merch, and some nonstop fun. Although it is just a day. It all kicks off with the Hey Howdy breakfast. A toe-tapping, Toy Story-themed musical breakfast you won't want to miss.
Howdy, hey,
Wait,
breakfast.
that sounds
Yeah.
great. Yeah, there you go, Chloe.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're the MC.
Yeah, but
can't
okay.
wait.
Here's my impression of you at the Hey Howdy Hey breakfast in the morning.
no.
Right, hold
Oh,
on, hold on.
gosh.
Hey Howdy Hey.
Me rolling out of bed 5 minutes beforehand. Yeah.
Yeah.
One ponytail down here, one up here.
Round up your coffee.
She's gone cross ponytailed.
Cross pony.
I had a crazy night out at Palo.
Yeah. One too many souffles last night.
Yeah.
You know what, right?
Hey,
what
you
I
know
mean?
it.
She does her-
You're
her-
speaking truth.
Her drink sip face. One
Dang.
one typhoon pancake, please. What's it called?
Yeah, it's the peanut
it-
butter and jelly
Yeah,
typhoon
typhoon
Wait, that's what
pancake.
it's called?
Hold
Yeah.
the jelly, please.
Yeah. Mm.
No jelly.
Y'all getting hungry over here.
Too early for jelly. So this Hey Howdy Hey, no, God, now I'm saying it. This Hey Howdy breakfast is, excuse me, in quotes here. Every member of the family will find some fun during Pixar Day at Sea. For those looking for a turtle, righteous celebration on the Big Blue, head to the upper deck for Crush's totally awesome pool party.
What?
Full of dances and games led by Crush's Pixar Party Patrol. If you're more about the presentation, darling.
Can
gonna
we
be
book a Pixar Day at Sea,
wild.
Yeah.
please?
Y'all, me after a couple gin and tonics at this pool party.
Girl,
wild.
this next one is the one I'm interested in. Edna Mode has a style on parade. She's hosting
Oh.
this chic, you get to strut your stuff in a Pixar fashion show.
Oh, you can show off your Pixar costume.
Or Crocs.
Oh
Oh my god. Oh
gosh.
my god. Okay.
I did actually over the weekend. Roosevelt's released another Toy Story collection, but so
Yes.
I'm wearing a Roosevelt's polo, which I like because these are what I love
The
to wear on an
breakfast
airplane.
balls.
Yeah, so it's like stretchy like those. But it's a little more flowy. Not Chloe, to be confused with Chloe. And they released like a Rex one, and I love Rex. And but they had a quarter zip pullover.
That's
It's
nice.
Buzz Lightyear's uniform.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've got to get that. I've got to get that.
Well, now you have to go on a
you know.
cruise. You got the Crocs. You got the quarter zip.
Yeah, I guess I need to complete a Sully
It's an
look, a
investment.
fashionable Sully look. I think. You know they got that tail at Hollywood Studios again.
Well, you haven't bought it?
No, I know. I'm not that far into being a furry just yet, but
Last night told me otherwise.
so
So stay tuned for why I said that.
there's more. There's even more to do on a Pixar day because guests can live like Remy and get their hair pulled like crazy
Yeah,
during
what?
Anyone Can Cook. It's where everyone just sits on someone's shoulders and yanks and yanks and yanks.
On your hair.
No, it's a live cooking demonstration with Disney chefs where ratatouille is on the menu. That seems like
They do that
fun.
every cruise, just
Um,
with different food
yeah.
items.
Hey! But this
Sorry.
one, this one, they show the rats to you this time. They don't hide them.
Oh, gotcha.
I hope
Okay.
I hope Remy shows up. for that.
I like how you just called him Ratatouille.
I know. Rat patootie.
Gotcha. Rat
Yeah,
Patootie's there. As the day winds down, the fun keeps going with Pixar Pals celebration on the upper decks. Join your favorite Pixar friends for a high-energy dance party under the stars. Now, let me ask you this. Is there a nighttime Pixar? Is there like a show that replaced Pirate Night?
That's
Do we
what I'm
know?
saying. I think
Yeah,
both
it
of
is,
these
yeah.
replace Pirate Night on the sailings.
Does like Buzz come down where like Jack would and Spider-Man?
Oh my
Man,
gosh.
I hope so. Okay, wait. I have a random question.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember? So we all know the Incredibles have been really cool costume characters in the parks, right?
Yeah.
And then I think it was the last Pixar Day at Sea. They had Mr. Incredible come out, and it looked like a cosplayer because there was no like.
Wait, it was a face?
He was an actual
Yeah.
person dressed as Mr. Incredible. They don't show him any of these preview photos. So I'm like, which Mr. Incredible are we
Are we
getting?
gonna get?
Yeah.
Yeah, yoys.
Daddy Incredible.
No, I would totally do the Pixar Day at Sea. I must say though, isn't it kind of strange that they didn't talk about Star Wars Day at Sea at all? Because that used to be a thing, and now
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah,
no.
I that is weird.
Yeah, I
to
don't know the
me.
logic on that.
Especially because the Destiny the hero themed one?
Yes.
Yeah. The Heroes and Villains themed one has the Does that really have a Star Wars
It has
presence
no
on it?
Star Wars presence.
Which is wild
Yeah.
because is not the like #1 villain in the history of cinema besides Nurse Ratched,
Yeah.
Darth Vader?
Nurse Ratched. Right there, right up
Yeah.
there.
Right up there. Nurse Ratched and Vader
No,
holding hands.
absolutely. We talked about it before because I still hope that one of the new ships down the line has a big Star Wars presence because this one has a lot of Marvel. The Destiny does.
Right.
We have the Star Wars lounge on the Wish, so I don't know. It's very strange that they're kind of like pulling away from it when
Most of the
Star Wars
Oceaneer
is back at a
clubs
high.
have a Star Wars presence, so it's like, I mean, it's
Yeah.
you know, not the same thing, but it's like, okay, so
Well,
we
the
have
kids' clubs?
some
Yeah.
investment. So I don't.
It's just wild because it is like, okay, no Star Wars Day at Sea, but we're doing the Pixar and this
Yeah.
thing, and they've done Pixar Fest, California Adventure. Well, I shouldn't knock it. And I meant Disneyland Resort, not California Adventure. But the parade was in California Adventure. And
Star
has
Wars
been at
night.
Disneyland before, to Disneyland Park. But
Yeah.
they do Star Wars nights there. And so
Right.
they have Season of the Force. And I'm like, God, Lord, what? Disney World wants Star Wars! God!
May the 4th sold out of park reservations forever ago because of that. We're all having to park hop over from a different park because we want to go in on Star Wars Day. Like, what the heck is going on? Bring it over here.
East
You know
Coast
what
just
I
wants
want?
but two.
What do you want?
Yeah.
You know what? It's not even from Disney parks. Just in general. Someone designed this for me. I would like a 1-to-1 replica sized beanbag chair of Jabba the Hutt.
Wait, that's great. I
Yeah.
would love that.
I want to throw myself into Jabba like I'm Salacious Crumb or Leia. Depending on
I was
the
thinking
mood.
Leia, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
where the mood takes me. I don't know.
That's a good idea.
Maybe sometimes I'm Max Rebo. Who knows? Just hopping in with a Casio. Boop, 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 boop.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
Hit it,
Cantina
Chloe.
music. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know.
Star
It is
Wars,
weird.
something's going on with Star Wars.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not getting the attention.
They're not
and the
talking
love
about it, and I
it
want to know what's
deserves.
going on.
I would put it almost like Muppets right now. I'm like, what's going on? We have these properties,
But I mean,
and we're not.
at least Star Wars, they're coming out with new stories on Disney
Right?
Plus, and they're pretty successful. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
Fans have
I
spoken.
mean, there's Grogu in The Mandalorian coming out in May 2026, which is also when we get the new Smuggler's Run experiences. But then also there's the Starfighter. Is that what the title was for the Ryan Gosling, Sean
Oh,
Levy
yeah.
directed
Yeah.
Star Wars film in 2027?
Yeah.
And then if they can get their act together and that Rey Star Wars movie is ever coming out. But then there's like 10 other movies in development. So like it seems like they're finally ready to be like Star Wars is in the cinema again. I mean the Revenge of the Sith this last weekend re-released in theaters was pulled in like globally like 45 million, which is like great. I mean that's a better run than new movies that were released this year
for
so
real.
far. And so like there is a base here that wants more Star Wars.
And that's annoying that it did so well in the theaters, and then there was nothing in the parks for it. And like Hayden Christensen came back and like did that really cool like commercial
Yeah, I love that.
promoting it, which was awesome. And it's just annoying to me that we have both at Disneyland and Walt Disney World, we have the space for Star Wars, or maybe even to your point, Disney Cruise Line. It's like, why are we not celebrating these things?
Yeah.
So you have to go to a movie theater to celebrate
I know.
previous Star Wars films. You can't even go to the parks
Like,
or Cruise Line to do
meet
it.
and greet Obi-Wan, Darth Maul, C-3PO. I want to meet all those characters.
Okay, to both of your points, do you feel like, and I guess I like kind of get why they don't do it, but I feel like this is where they should tiptoe into the waters to test stuff, or as some may say, tiptoe into the tulips. I would love on like a 4-night sailing for them to finally be like, it's a Star Wars sailing. Or it is a Pixar sailing, a Marvel sailing, and do the shorter ones, do the 3 of the 4 nights, but then each night can be the theme. So take the outline of what this day is. So, what's the dress up night usually? A formal night, but it's like it's the formal night inspired by Pixar. So show us your best Pixar look. So it's the cosplay night. You know what I mean?
Suggested, yeah.
Yeah. The next night is the deck party night. The third night might be the kickoff celebration party. So it's the whatever. Like why can't we can also do that with Star Wars? Because from what I've seen in Andor and what they did with obviously with the Star Cruiser was all meant to be Chandrilla, and Mon Mothma is from Chandrilla. Chandrilla is very elegant. And Star Wars has this like really elegant. I mean, Leia was always very elegant. I feel like, and a lot of times, and
Padme. Hello?
Yeah, hello, the
Yeah.
Naboo. The Naboo. The Naboo dress
Ever
like
heard of
it. You can get your little 16-year-old queens out there and not talking about... I know that came out weird.
Oh,
But Padme's like a 16-year-old queen, which is wild. Also, Mon Mothma talks about being like
and how old's
14
Anakin?
when she was like,
Okay.
whatever. Yeah, so that, let's not even get started on that.
Yo.
Maybe we continue this conversation into our Patreon after show.
I think we
Yeah.
should, because
Sounds
I got
like
some
a good
hot
idea.
takes.
We'll come up with some themed Disney Cruise Line adventures. So if you are one of our Patreon supporters, please stay tuned. I will post the link, and it should hopefully send you a notification, but we're going to have a little bit of lunch first. Hey, if you're watching this live, before you go, please hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, click that bell. You're going to get notified whenever we publish any sort of new content on here, which has been... I don't want to say sporadic, but I've been testing different days. Like I released the Tap House Talks on Saturday instead of Friday. We do have plenty of Epic Universe coverage coming your way. Hannah and I did do a little bit of a makeup transformation this last week. I
can't wait
believe
to see it.
you'll be seeing
makeup.
that. Oh, it was more than
I
makeup. It was a
transformed on the inside, outside.
complete personality overhaul. Yeah. So that's coming out. Lots of fun stuff, and always open to feedback. And we want to cater the content to your needs when you are playing that Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, Universal Vacation. So please do not hesitate. Do not be afraid to leave comments about future ideas for topics, discussions, or content you want to see us go get out in the parks or on the ships or wherever. Do really appreciate that, because after all, we are doing this for you. And of course, don't forget about the experts at Dreams Unlimited Travel that can help you plan that perfect vacation, maybe even better so than we can, because we are also here to assist them. So dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Like I said, Patreon supporters, we're going to be doing that live. Stay tuned. And everybody, just thank you for being here. Thank you for having this conversation with me, Chloe and Hannah, and listening to us go on and on, on and on. On and on. No, it was good. It was fun. What was I thought going to be kind of like a show, pretty good. Was pretty good. So thank you everybody for being here. Those listeners out there, please rate and review the podcast whenever you have that opportunity. Don't forget, you can send an email to podcast@disunlimited.com. That is going to do it for this week's episode of the Diz Unlimited, but we will be back with you for more. So stay tuned, everybody. Have a great week.